It is now officially time. First I ranked Pixar, then I ranked DreamWorks, now it's Disney's turn. This is every upcoming Disney project ranked by how excited I am for them. Let's get straight into it. In last place I have all of the Untitled Projects. Because there's no information about them, we have no idea if or when they'll come out. At number 78 I have SuperKitties Super Wild. This is a kids show that I have no interest in. At number 77 I have Pupstruction Seasons 2 and 3. This is another kids show that I'm not interested in. At number 76, I have RoboGogo Season 2, yet another kids show. This one is about a superhero team made up of talking animals. I'm a big superhero fan, but this just isn't it. At number 75, I have Ariel. This is an animated prequel spin-off to the Little Mermaid live-action remake. I'm not interested in this either. At number 74, I have Firebuds Season 3. This is going to be the final season of the show, but I haven't seen the previous two, and I do not plan on watching them. At number 73, I have Sam Witch. This is a kids show about a witch named Sam. It looks decent, but I'm not particularly excited for it. At number 72, I have Zombies, the Reanimated Series, Season 2. I'm going to be honest, I did not watch the first season, but I heard it was good. But this franchise just does not appeal to me at all. At number 71, I have Chibi Tiny Tales Season 6. This is a series of shorts featuring many Disney characters in chibi form. It doesn't really sound exciting to me. At number 70, I have Chibiverse Season 4. This is a lot like Chibi Tiny Tales, but it has a more varied format, so I'm slightly more excited about this one, but only slightly. At number 69, I have The Wonderful World of Disney. This is an anthology series that mostly just rebroadcasts old Disney movies. It's not bad, but it just doesn't really offer anything new. At number 68, I have Sister Act 3. I don't like either of the first two movies, so I'm not excited for this at all. At number 67, I have Club 33. This is a movie that is going to be based on the restaurant of the same name in Disneyland. They're making a movie based on a restaurant, which I don't think has been done before. This might actually be the worst idea for a movie that I've ever heard of. At number 66, I have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. They're making an entire feature film based on a roller coaster in Disneyland. I don't know why they're making this, but it also seems like a bad idea. At number 65, I have Ghostforce Season 2. The first season was pretty bad, and Season 2 is having major production problems, so it's likely that it'll be just as bad or even worse than the first season. At number 64, I have Prep and Landing, The Snowball Protocol. This is part of a series of short films. I haven't seen the previous ones, and I have no intention of seeing this one either. At number 63, I have Merlin, yet another live-action spin-off that nobody asked for. Like, why is this even being made? At number 62, I have the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean movies. There are 3 spin-offs currently in the works. There's a movie with Margot Robbie as the lead, another movie featuring a young cast, and one featuring Ayo Abadiri as the real-life pirate Anne Bonny. None of these sound interesting to me, but apart from these, they're also making a reboot movie, which I am not interested in at all. I mean, I like the original 5 movies, but even they weren't perfect. But trying to redo that without Johnny Depp is just a horrible idea. He was the main reason those movies worked, and it's just not going to feel the same without him. At number 61, I have The Proud Family Loud and Prouder Season 4. This is a revival of the classic original series, and it's basically worse than the original in every single way. I know this new series has its fans, but I personally just can't stand it. At number 60, I have Society of Explorers and Adventurers. This is going to be a movie based on the fictional organization of the same name. I don't know much about the group, and there's not enough information about this movie for me to really get excited for it. At number 59, I have Mulan II. The first live-action Mulan movie was pretty disappointing, so I'm not excited at all for this one, especially if it's going to adapt the original Mulan 2, because that movie was horrible. At number 58, I have Moana. This is a live-action remake of the first Moana movie, with The Rock returning to play Maui, but a new actress playing Moana. There's literally no reason for this to exist. There was nothing wrong with the original Moana that required a remake to improve upon it. Disney would honestly be better off making Moana 3. Moana 2 ended on a cliffhanger, and it was the 3rd highest grossing movie of 2024, so a sequel would probably do very well. But as for this remake, I'm not hyped for it at all. At number 57, I have 1001 Nights. This is going to be a movie based on a collection of Middle Eastern folktales. I literally know nothing about the source material, so I can't get seriously excited for it. At number 56, I have Figment. This is going to be a movie based on the Disney World character of the same name. He's just a big purple dragon. He doesn't really have any lore, so I'm not sure why they're making a movie about him. At number 55, I have Sofia the First Royal Magic. This is going to be a sequel to Sofia the First, and I haven't seen that show since I was like 5, so I'm sure this will be good. I'm not super hyped about it. At number 54, I have Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus. This is a revival of the original show. Now, I did grow up watching that series, but let's be honest, I am not going to be sitting there binging all the episodes of the new Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. It doesn't matter how good it is, I'm just too old for it. At number 53, I have Vampirina Teenage Vampire. This is going to be a live-action reboot of Vampirina. I actually think this has potential, but the concept is still very weird, and it could easily be done wrong. At number 52, I have Maleficent 3. The first 2 Maleficent movies are okay, but there's honestly no reason for there to be a sequel. The second movie ended things on a perfect note. At number 51, I have Hey AJ. This is going to be a Disney Junior show about a young girl with a crazy imagination. Now, this is a show for little kids, and the concept is something we have seen before, but the concept art and news we've gotten on the show does actually look good. At number 50, I have every upcoming Miraculous project. These include Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir Season 6, Miraculous Chibi Season 3, Miraculous Stellar Force, Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir the Movie 2, and Miraculous Rio. I'm not a fan of this franchise. I know it has a big fan base, but it's just not the type of show that I enjoy. At number 49, I have Disney Adventure World. This is going to be a revamp of Walt Disney Studios Park in France. I don't live in France, so this doesn't really matter to me. At number 48, I have Bambi. This is yet another Disney live-action remake, and honestly, this one doesn't seem like a horrible idea. I mean, nothing can get worse than Snow White. That was pretty much the bottom of the barrel. But some of the things we've heard about this movie have been pretty questionable. For one, it lost its director, which is never a good sign. It's also going to be a musical, and the original wasn't a musical at all, so I don't know why they're turning the remake into a musical. And they're apparently not going to include the death of Bambi's mother due to it being too traumatic for children, which is very stupid in my opinion. Like, why would you remove one of the most important parts of the story? Now, this movie might be good, but I am very cautious about it. At number 46, I have Coven Academy. This is going to be a live-action show about witches who team up to defend New Orleans from dark forces. It sounds very generic, but there are some talented crew working on this series. At number 46, I have The Return of the Rocketeer. If you don't know, The Rocketeer is an old superhero movie Disney made in the 90s. It's nothing special, but it's pretty charming and fun, and this is a standalone sequel to that. This has some potential, but I don't think the movie really needs a sequel, and legacy sequels by Disney tend not to do very well. So I'm keeping an open mind, but I'm not super hyped about this movie. At number 45, I have Shrunk. This is going to be the 4th movie in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise, which honestly didn't need to be a franchise at all. The first movie is a classic, but each sequel was worse than the previous one. This movie could be good, but I wouldn't count on it. At number 44, I have Beyblade X Season 2. The first season was decent, but nothing amazing, so this second season seems like it'll just be more of the same. Number 43, I have Prince Charming. This is going to be a live-action adaptation featuring Prince Charming as the main protagonist. And like, why is this a thing? Prince Charming is not an interesting character at all. He only has 3 minutes of screen time in the original Cinderella. He is not main character material at all. But the last live-action Cinderella movie was pretty decent. Probably the best Disney live-action remake, if we're being honest. So if this is connected to that, then there might be potential with this movie. At number 42, I have all of the Disney Park live events. These include Disney H2O Glow Night, Disney After Hours, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, Disney Jollywood Nights, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, Epcot Festival of the Holidays, and Disney New Year's Eve Celebration. None of these sound super interesting to me. At number 41, I have Monster Jam. This is going to be a fictionalized version of Monster Jam starring The Rock. Now, I'm not saying this movie couldn't work. I am a fan of Monster Jam, but I still think this is a very weird idea. It might end up being just a mediocre cash grab. I hope I'm wrong though. At number 40, I have Zootopia Better Zoogether. This is going to be a 3D attraction that is going to bridge the gap in between the first and second movies. While the concept art looks decent, I'm just not a fan of the art style. I know that it'll probably look different in the final show, but it just doesn't look appealing so far. At number 39, I have Disney Speedstorm Season 15. Disney Speedstorm is a free-to-play kart racing game featuring Disney characters. The game is currently in its 14th season, and the upcoming 15th season will add characters from Alice in Wonderland and the Muppets. I don't play Speedstorm very often, so this update doesn't really matter to me all that much. At number 38, I have Tower of Terror. This is going to be a remake of the original Tower of Terror from 1997. It'll be directed by Taika Waititi and star Scarlett Johansson as the lead. I like Taika, but I'm not sure how well he'd be able to handle a horror movie. I feel optimistic about this movie though. At number 37, I have Hunchback. I am very mixed on this remake. While I don't think that Quasimodo would look good in live action, Disney does seem to be taking their time on this project, which is promising. Number 36, I have Penelope. This is going to be a movie based on The Princess and the Pea, and Disney hasn't adapted a proper fairy tale in a long time, but I just hope that this movie will be traditionally animated and not CG, but it doesn't really matter as long as the script is good. At number 35, I have Lilo and Stitch 2. The first Lilo and Stitch remake was decent. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible either, so I don't really have any strong feelings at all towards this movie. At number 34, I have Jungle Cruise 2. The first Jungle Cruise movie failed both critically and financially, so I don't know why they're making a sequel, but I personally thought the first movie was decent, so I'm not against them making a second one. At number 33, I have Descendants Wicked Wonderland. This is going to be the 5th film in the Descendants series, and I haven't seen any of the previous movies, so I will probably not watch this. I don't know. If the series is really good, then let me know, but it just seems too girly for me. At number 32, I have Messi and the Giants. This animated series is going to be about a teenager who leads a revolution against giants. Now, there's not a lot of information about this show, but nothing I've heard so far sounds super impressive or interesting, but I will keep an open mind in case it is good. At number 31, I have Disney Heroes Battle Mode Update. This game is a mobile RPG that allows you to play as many Disney and Pixar characters, and a future update is going to add Bolt into the game. Bolt is a very underrated movie, so I'm glad to see it getting some respect. However, I'm not a huge mobile game player, so I'm not really planning on playing this, but I still felt it should be mentioned. At number 30, I have Treasure Island. This is going to be the 4th Disney adaptation of the original novel of the same name. This one seems like it has potential, though there is little information about it. At number 29, I have Jane Goodall. This is going to be a biopic based on Jane Goodall, who is a world expert on chimpanzees. I think this has potential. At number 28, I have Cruella 2. The first Cruella movie was pretty good, so I'm pretty excited for the sequel. At number 27, I have Tink. This is going to be a live-action adaptation of Peter Pan, with Tinkerbell as the main character. There have been many adaptations of Peter Pan, and I think each one brings something new and special to the table, so I am curious to see how this one will turn out. Number 26, I have Space Mountain. This is going to be a family adventure film based on the roller coaster of the same name. This honestly has a lot of potential to be fun. At number 25, I have 61. This is going to be a biopic based on the basketball player Chris Paul. I am not a sports watcher at all, but I am a pretty big fan of biopics, so I am interested to see how this movie turns out. At number 24, I have The Princess Diaries 3. I haven't seen the first 2 Princess Diaries movies in a long time, but I have a vague memory of watching them when I was little, so I do plan on rewatching them just for nostalgia's sake, and I hope that this 3rd movie is a worthy follow-up to the previous 2. At number 23, I have The Aristocats. Of all the upcoming Disney remakes, this one is definitely the least necessary, but this movie will be directed by Questlove, who produced Hamilton, so the songs in this movie are probably going to be really good. At number 22, I have Disney Adventure. This is going to be the 8th cruise ship by Disney, and will be the biggest one yet. I've never been on a Disney cruise, but I've heard they can be pretty fun, and this one probably has the potential to make a lot of money. At number 21, I have all of the upcoming Bluey projects. There's going to be a 4th season, a series of shorts called Minisodes, and a movie. Now, I think Bluey is a good series. As kids shows go, this is probably one of the best ones out there, but it is still a kids show, and it's not the kind of thing that I really enjoy watching. At number 20, I have the Adventureland revamp in Disneyland Tokyo. The old Adventureland had Western River Railroad, Swiss Family Treehouse, Jungle Cruise Wildlife Expeditions, and the Enchanted Tiki Room. Stitch presents Aloha e Como Mai. All of these areas are going to be closed down, and they will be replaced by areas based on The Incredibles, Up, and Moana. Now, I don't live in Tokyo, but I think these new attractions sound better than the old ones, so I support this revamp. At number 19, I have the Disney Dreamland Valley update. Disney Dreamland Valley is a life simulation game featuring Disney characters that was released in 2023, and the game has been supported to this very day. with the new update adding characters from Aladdin, Alice in Wonderland, and Peter Pan. Now, I haven't played this game yet, but it is on Game Pass, so I do plan on trying it out. It looks pretty fun. At number 18, I have Villains Land. This is a new land that will be added to Disney World and will be inspired by many Disney villains. There's not a lot of info about it right now, but I think it's a solid idea. At number 17, I have Molina. This is another sports biopic, this time based around the three Molina brothers, who all played basketball at the same time. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to be producing the series, which is very promising. At number 16, I have Hercules. This is going to be another Disney live-action remake. And out of all the Disney animated movies, I think that Hercules is the one that would work best in live action. And this movie is being made by the Russo brothers, who are known for their work on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, making some of the best movies in the entire franchise. So I think this movie is in very good hands. At number 15, I have Frozen Land. This is going to be a themed area based on Frozen. I actually think this is a really good idea. The world of Frozen has a very distinct aesthetic, and having an area with that snowy vibe would be really cool. At number 14, I have Dragon Striker. This is going to be an animated series about a wizard named Kay who goes to a magical school and teams up with other wizards to fight an evil force. Now, admittedly, it does sound like a Harry Potter knockoff, but the team working on the show does seem pretty promising, and I do really like the art style. At number 13, I have Wizards Belong Waverly Place Season 2. In terms of Disney legacy sequels, this is as good as it gets. It did a good job of continuing the original series, while also being just a good show on its own. The first season was really good, so I'm definitely hyped for Season 2. At number 12, I have Kif Seasons 2 and 3. This is an animated series about an anthropomorphic squirrel named Kif, who goes on adventures with other animal characters. It's definitely a kid's show, but it's pretty fun and creative, so I'm glad that it's continuing. At number 11, I have Stugo Season 2. This is basically about a group of kids who are stranded on a deserted island and have to figure out how to survive. This is actually a very fun and underrated show, so I'd recommend watching Season 1 and keeping an eye out for Season 2. At number 10, I have Tron Ares. The last movie, Tron Legacy, came out in 2010, so there's been a 15 gap in between movies. And this is going to be a standalone story in the Tron franchise. It's going to introduce the new character Ares, an AI who moves from the virtual world into the real world. They're also bringing back Kevin Flynn from the previous movies, even though he died in the last one. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. I'm not a huge Tron fan, but this movie still looks interesting. At number 9, I have Frozen 3 and Frozen 4. I think the first Frozen movie is pretty good, and while the second movie wasn't as good, it still brought some interesting themes and great world building to the franchise, so I'm definitely excited for both of these sequels. At number 8, I have Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm not a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, but I'm pretty excited at the idea of another game in the series. This game will be a direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts 3, picking up after the events of that game's DLC. It looks very interesting, but it is still in pretty early development, so it'll probably take a few years before we actually get to play it. At number 7, I have Big City Greens Seasons 4 and 5. This show is pretty good. It has a good mix of both comedic moments and emotional moments, and the status quo of the series actually changes over the seasons, so I'm excited to see the story continue to evolve. At number 6, I have Freakier Friday. The first Freaky Friday movie is very nostalgic and fun for me personally, and the sequel looks like it's going to be taking the concept to the next level with a 4-way body switch with Tess, Anna, Anna's daughter Harper, and stepdaughter Lily. It doesn't look like it's going to be a mind-blowing movie or anything, but it looks like it'll be a fun sequel. At number 5, I have Phineas and Ferb Seasons 5 and 6. Now, I'm not a diehard fan of Phineas and Ferb or anything, but I am fond of the series, and the new season is pretty good so far. You can definitely tell by the animation that it's a newer show. At number 4, I have the Hamilton re-release. Hamilton is going to be released in theaters for the first time ever, alongside new behind-the-scenes footage. Hamilton is one of the most popular musicals of all time for a reason, so I'm obviously excited to get to see it on the big screen. At number 3, I have Zootopia 2. The first movie was really good, and the sequel looks like it's going to be a worthy successor. It's going to follow Judy and Nick as they pursue a snake who is causing mayhem around the city. But the villain also seems kinda sympathetic. It seems like they're not just gonna repeat the themes of the first movie, which is a good thing. You want the sequel to bring something new to the table. And number 2, I have The Graveyard Book. This is gonna be a movie based on the book of the same name by Neil Gaiman, who also wrote Coraline and The Sandman. This is gonna be about a boy who is adopted by ghosts after his family is murdered. The premise sounds very dark and interesting, and the book was very well received. so I hope this adaptation can do it justice. And at number 1, I have Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, The Order of Giants. This is going to be a DLC that takes place during the events of the main campaign. The Great Circle is easily the best Indiana Jones game, and one of the best movie-based games ever made. It recaptured the magic of Raiders and the Lost Ark very well, so I am very hyped for it to get more content. Okay, so while editing this, there have been new projects that have been announced, as well as projects that I just forgot to mention. So here I'm going to list them all, as well as where I put them in the ranking. Cookies and Milk is an animated slice-of-life series set in the 70s. It's based on the book of the same name about the life of Sean Amos, who is a blues musician. He's also the son of Wally Amos, who created the famous Amos brand of cookies, which are delicious by the way. But that's where the title Cookies and Milk comes from. It's going to be a father and son story that explains the start of Wally's cookie business, as well as Sean's music career and the connection that they have as family. Now, as I said earlier, I'm a very big fan of biopics, and this one sounds very exciting for me. So I put it above Frozen 3 and 4, but below Kingdom Hearts 4. I know that's very high, but I'm very excited for this one. Journey is an animated fantasy series about a group of young magicians who go on a journey. Not a lot of info about it, but I put it above Tower of Terror, but below Hunchback. La Familia Avenunes is an upcoming spin-off of the Proud Family Loud and Prouder. And if it's anything like the show it's spinning off, I am not excited for it at all. I put it above Mulan II, but below the Moana remake. Ducky is an animated series about a teenage duck suffering from PTSD who is tasked with saving the universe. There's little info about it, but it's said to have a more mature tone, which is intriguing. I put it above Space Mountain, but below 61. Magic Children Doing Things was a 3-minute Nickelodeon short from 2015. It was later acquired by Disney and is now being turned into a full series. It's about a human who is friends with 2 magical creatures. It's definitely a series aimed at kids, but the animation quality is still very high, and the premise has a lot of potential. I put it above KIF Seasons 2 and 3, but below Stugo Season 2. Next up, I'm going to group together all of the Disney Junior shows because I don't plan on watching any of them. These include Playdate with Winnie the Pooh Season 3, Me and Winnie the Pooh Season 3, Tiny Trailblazers, Johnny Guitar Rockstar, and Dusty Dupree. Even if these shows end up being good, I'm never going to know because I just do not want to watch them. Rana, Who Lives by the River is a series about a woman who gains the ability to make her wishes come true. Karen Gillan is going to play the main role, and Danny Elfman is going to compose the series, which is very exciting. He's one of the best composers alive. So I put this series above Jane Goodall, but below Cruella 2. Darkwing Duck is going to be a revival of the original series. Despite being announced as a reboot, it'll actually take place after the original series. I haven't seen the original show, so I'm not really hyped for this new series, but I know this character does have his fans. I'll put this series above Shrunk, but below Beyblade X Season 2. Tailspin is another revival. It's apparently like a spin-off of Jungle Book or something. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I'll put it above Society of Explorers and Engineers, but below Mulan II. The Witchverse is a sequel to the short film Baby Yaga, based on the character of the same name from Slavic folklore. This series is going to expand on the short film and have an anthology format. The animation style looks very unique and beautiful, and since the original short won 3 Emmys, I think this has the potential to be really good too. I put it above Zootopia 2, but below The Graveyard Book. Inner Cats is just another anthropomorphic animal show, this time about cats. This kind of stuff doesn't really interest me. Maybe if you're a cat person, then maybe you'll like this show, but I'm just kind of mixed on it. I put it above Prep and Landing the Snowball Protocol, but below Merlin. Fantasy Sports is an animated series based on the comic of the same name. It follows 2 friends who play magical variations on several sports. The comic was very well received, so I'm excited to see it adapted. I put it above The Princess Diaries 3, but below The Aristocats. Disney Destiny is the upcoming 7th cruise ship by Disney. Disney Adventure is the 8th, but neither are out yet. Disney Destiny will have an area called Aquamouse Villain Mountain, which will have original songs and live shows. Now, I have talked about Disney Destiny in both my Marvel video and my Pixar video, so if you want to know more of my thoughts, go watch those. But for this list, I'll put it above The Aristocats, but below Disney Adventure. Super Fudge is an upcoming animated movie based on the book of the same name. Now, researching this was kind of mind-blowing for me, because I actually read this book a long time ago when I was in 2nd grade, and I totally forgot about it until now. It's just been floating around in my subconscious until this very moment. But the story is basically about a kid who has to deal with his obnoxious younger brother named Fudge. It's a very heartwarming story, and I am very excited to see it get adapted to the screen. So I put it above Phineas and Ferb seasons 5 and 6, but below the Hamilton re-release. School for Sensitive Souls is a Disney Plus original animated movie featuring original songs. There's literally no info about it beyond that, so I'm not even going to bother ranking it. Confessions of an Imaginary Friend is an animated movie based on the book of the same name. It's about an imaginary friend as he goes through an existential crisis and tries to figure out his purpose. I haven't read the book, but it has great reviews, so I'm totally sure Disney can pull this story off. Hex is the most recently announced project from Disney. It's an animated movie about a boy and his mom set in a world where magic is real. This premise sounds very generic. There are so many projects on this list that involve witches and magic. I mean, Pixar basically did this exact concept with the movie Onward. I'm glad Disney is still making original ideas, but it just doesn't sound exciting to me. I put it above Monster Jam, but below Zootopia Better Zoogether. The Doomies is going to be about two friends who accidentally open a portal to the underworld, causing them to have to defend their town from monsters. The premise isn't super unique, but the poster looks pretty cool. I put it above Frozen Land, but below Dragon Striker. The Sunny Ridge 3 is an upcoming comedy mystery series, and no, there is no Sunny Ridge 1 or 2. The series will follow a trio of friends as they try to uncover supernatural events in their hometown. It honestly just sounds like a ripoff of Gravity Falls, but with 3 main characters instead of 2, and I'm not really digging the art style either. I put it above Bambi, but below Coven Academy. And the final project we'll be talking about is Electric Bloom. This is an upcoming comedy series about a group of friends who go on to form a rock band. This kind of story has been done before, but the format is popular for a reason. All I'm asking for is likable characters and good songs. That's all I want. I put this above Dragon Striker, but below Wizards Beyond Waverly Place Season 2. And that's my ranking. Let me know down below which of these projects has you the most hyped, but that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm Midnight Drift, and I will see you later.